Oh yeah, the wind is whipping around and then there's snow with it too in parts of the Denver metro area. This is video from I-70 near DIA. The storm is going to stick around through the morning. CDOT is already warning of blizzard conditions on the eastern plains and Palmer Divide. And it's really coming down the mountains. Check this out. Whew. That's what you're looking at live from the CDOT camera on eastbound I-70 at the East Vale Chain Station. Highway 6 through Vale Pass is closed. Good evening. I'm Kim Christensen.
And I'm Mark Salinger. Hope you enjoyed these last couple days where it felt like spring, because that is come and gone and it's winter all over again. We start tonight with 9 News meteorologist Kathy Sabin. Kathy, this storm will have different impacts depending on where you are.
Welcome to March. We've got temperatures in the mid-30s and rain in downtown Denver with just wet streets. But you go into the mountains and it's heavy snow. You go south and east and there's wind and snow, creating whiteout and blizzard conditions and difficult travel. Temperatures are not all that cold, so we've had the rain and snow flipping back and forth. Winds very gusty out of the north and northwest. This is a trend that will continue. Look how big this storm is circulating over Colorado. It's going to become a major severe weather producer as it shifts east of our state tomorrow morning. Rain and snow showers moving from north to south. This will be a trend throughout the evening. We've had gusty winds to 40 and 50 miles per hour. A little lull in the action for some areas, but the next wave is coming in. For some areas, it'll be all snow and wind. Blizzard warnings out for the Palmer Divide all the way out to Nebraska. We have winter weather advisories and a winter storm warning for heavy mountain snow. This is the area we're concerned about for the worst travel and potential road closures. Palmer Divide, Monument Hill, Castle Rock, out toward Byers and Dare Trail. For Denver, rain and snow and lots of wind. And so we've got our boots on the ground out there. Our Janelle Finch is in Centennial tonight, where that's kind of right on the line of the rain, snow, and wind. How are conditions where you are?
Well, we're getting the rain out here, we're getting the snow out here. Luckily, not too windy. We came over here from Edgewater, if you're joining us from 9 o'clock, which of course you are. This is 9 News. Why would you go anywhere else? If you're joining us from 9 o'clock, we were in Edgewater at the top of that hour. Took I-25 to come down this way. Luckily, really not too bad of road conditions. Like you were saying, I-70 looked a little bit dicey. I-25 was just really wet, so not ideal driving conditions, but again, not too terrible. I just want to kind of show you a little bit of the accumulation of snow that we're seeing out here to just, perfect prop of a car that was sitting out here, has been sitting out here, just like, just a little snow, nothing too crazy, but definitely something that you would probably have to knock off your car had you been down here for a couple hours, hanging out, doing some shopping, avoiding that winter weather, maybe the long drive home, short drive home, whatever you got going on. But luckily, really, like I said, not too bad here, but what's coming down is really wet. It's really just kind of like, if it is snow, it's melting as soon as it hits your hand. But like you said, it could get a lot worse than this, and it looks like it is a little bit worse further south, but it's something that we're going to keep tracking, you're going to keep tracking, and like I said, 9 News, why would you go anywhere else? We're going to keep tracking this, so this is the place to be for all of that information. But until then, live in Centennial, Janelle Finch, 9 News. I'll send it back to you in the studio.
Janelle, I feel like we owe you like a cup of tea or a cup of coffee or something for being out there this evening. Thanks for tracking the conditions out in the cold. Stay warm. We also have team coverage of this winter storm with our weather and traffic teams, keeping an eye on the roads, and our live reporters in the field, including Corey Reppenhagen out on the Eastern Plains. You can find all that tomorrow morning on 9 News, KTVD, or 9 News Plus, starting right here at 4:30. New tonight, the Justice Department says it'll look into Colorado's prosecution of former Mesa County Clerk Tina Peters. The Republican was sentenced to 9 years for breaching her county's own voting systems in an attempt to prove voter fraud. The DOJ filed a statement of interest today. The filing says Peters' prosecution will be reviewed in a search for, quote, abuses of the criminal justice process. The filing calls her sentence exceptionally lengthy and points to her denial of bail while she appeals her sentence.
Weeks after a Douglas County Sheriff's deputy shot and killed Jalen Sabron while responding to a shooting at the main event in Highlands Ranch, today the Sheriff's Office released edited portions of body camera and dash camera video from the night it happened. We're sharing an exclusive interview with Sabron's family. The video released today shows that it took 7 seconds between when the deputy got out of his car, gun drawn, and ran towards Sabron. He fired multiple times, killing him. You can see Sebron walking around a car with a gun in his hand, looking toward the entrance of main event. He appears to raise his gun for a moment before it moves off camera. Then Sebron opens a car door, and an officer does not identify himself but orders him to drop the gun. Sebron looks over his shoulder a second before the deputy fires.
They're going to take this scenario and make my baby the bad one when he was just trying to protect. I will not stand for that.
There were people inside the car that Jalen Sebron was approaching, including the suspect in the initial shooting, as well as Sebron's pregnant girlfriend. The Douglas County Sheriff's Office posted on social media describing Sebron as an accessory to the suspect in the initial shooting. Today, we asked the Sheriff's Office what reason they have to believe that. They did not offer a comment.
They could have handled that way different. And then the lies that they're portraying and trying to make my son seem like a criminal, when that's not what nobody sees in him.
None of the video released today shows the woman who is charged in the initial shooting inside the main event, Nevaeh Crowley Sanders. That was a condition a judge granted when ordering the release of the footage on Friday. Last week, the Sheriff's Office announced charges against another 5 women and 1 man in connection with that shooting.
A Michelin-recognized restaurant in Denver abruptly shut down over the weekend. The employees at AJ's Barbecue said they closed the business while the owner was out of town. 9 News reporter Spencer Soisher joins us live this evening. And Spencer, they didn't really have permission to close up the shop either.
No permission at all. Some former employees told me today they were paid over Venmo, Zelle, wire transfer, and Apple Pay. They say the paycheck was inconsistent, and then they started to question if the rest of their pay was above board.
I've got the tattoo of the Michelin Award right here, and I'm very proud of it.
Patrick Klaber is a pit master.
Yeah.
He's got pride in his craft.
We're gonna go do it somewhere else and win another one.
Somewhere else that's not AJ's Pit Barbecue in Denver.
Well, when we found out he was taking taxes from us, we made a collective decision as a restaurant to shut the doors on him.
The former employees say AJ's owner, Jared Leonard, is in Mexico, where he has another barbecue spot.
He's been there for the last 4 months, hasn't come back.
While he's there, his employees in Denver say they realized he's been taking money out of their pay for taxes and failing to report them.
My taxes were really inconsistent from the pay stubs I do have.
Leonard owns multiple restaurants in Colorado. That includes Campfire and Evergreen.
He had some great ideas and great food. And
His
great
former
people
employees there say they have the same suspicions.
Yep.
And they all claim they haven't gotten their W-2s.
He was taking a third of my paycheck each week as taxes, and it seems like none of those taxes were paid. So I don't have a W-2, I don't have any pay stubs to track where the money was going.
Leonard responded to our request for comment, saying the workers closed AJ's without his permission, leaving thousands of dollars of food to waste. He went on to say this was all done to cause financial stress to him and his family. Leonard says he's, quote, not a perfect business owner, but has never done anything intentionally to harm the staff.
And this whole situation is just really unfortunate. So many people are going without wages right now.
But until Leonard comes back, looks like AJ's is temporarily closed, and his employees say they can do better.
We want to own our own and do it right. Like, that's our reaction to this.
I texted with Leonard today. He did not answer my questions about whether he plans to come back from Mexico or whether he's been taking taxes out of people's checks and failing to report them to the government. Spencer Soisher, 9 News.
The body of a snowboarder who disappeared on February 14th at Vail Ski Resort has been found. The Eagle County coroner confirmed that news today. Search teams from multiple agencies have been looking for Connor Gill for more than 2 weeks. The 26-year-old from Denver told the friend he was with that he was going to be doing some laps around the area before vanishing. Deputies searched the area where Gill's phone last pinged and where he commonly snowboarded. It's not clear where authorities found his body.
Denver City Council is now working to regulate healing centers where people will be able to go for supervised therapeutic use of magic mushrooms. Within the past few hours, council members unanimously voted to approve a bill that would set up regulations and licensing for those facilities. It would also repeal Ordinance 301. Ordinance 301 deprioritized criminal enforcement of the personal use and possession of magic mushrooms by people 21 and up within the city. At a public hearing tonight, people expressed concern about scrapping that. City Council member Chris Hines tried to ease those concerns.
State law has already surpassed what Ordinance 301 originally set out to do. Keeping it on the books only creates confusion and regulatory conflicts. So instead of holding on to an outdated law, we should embrace a stronger, clearer system that builds on what we started.
For a healing center to be approved under this bill, they would have to pay a $100 application fee, then another $100 licensing fee. They'd also be required to go through inspections by city agencies.
Jefferson junior, senior high school students are focused on the future, specifically their school's future. Jeffco Public Schools says it's continuing to face challenges with declining enrollment, so they're proposing a revamp of Jefferson to close and reopen as a career-focused high school. Tonight, the district held a listening session for students, parents, and staff. Jefferson students say they don't believe their school should have to change at all.
I'm a freshman. It's going to push me out in my junior year. I'm not going to come back for my senior year. It's pushing us out to bring somebody else in.
The district says Jefferson serves fewer students than other high schools by the hundreds. They say they're open to other ideas, but if change doesn't come to the school now, it could lead to harder conversations further down the line.
We want the community to bring forward their ideas. We're going to consider them, we're going to research them, we're going to look at them. But the most important thing is that we don't just do something that, you know, a couple of years from now we're in the same position where we're having maybe not even this discussion. We're actually coming and saying we're sorry, but the school has to close.
Tonight was supposed to be a community design meeting to share ideas and come up with solutions, but so many people showed up, the district turned it into a listening session. They plan to reschedule that community design meeting for later this month.